So far today, all I've seen is more Emeka Egbuka slander, and I've also seen, no. Rashee Rice slander, I'm sorry. Emeka Egbuka, he got injured today, and we'll have to discuss what the injury consists of and what we actually think the injury is going to look like as far as sidelining him. But I tell you this, I've seen some more Rashee Rice slander today, and it leads me to the same point that I actually tweeted out earlier today. If people are going to start fading him, along with Amari and Hampton, I'm going to continue to double down on both those guys and continue to draft them more than I already have this offseason, and I've drafted both of them a ton. But of course, we're getting into a mock draft today, and just an announcement, it is the last day that you can get in on the offer to get a free redraft draft guide from me. So if you want the best draft guide in the business right now for free, all you need to do is go to the link in the description, join Underdog using my code FFR, and play in a draft with me after this one, and you'll get a free copy of the best redraft draft guide. If you don't sign up by today, end of day, it's going to be $23 through Venmo. So, yeah, just an announcement right there. But where do we start? Rashee Rice. I'll tell you this, man. He's getting tons and tons of slander these days. I'll tell you that much. I feel like it's interesting because, you know, the thing with Rashee Rice is he's never been known to have crazy wheels or anything like that. Like, Rashee Rice has always been kind of known as a slower guy who doesn't get, create tremendous separation. He's not exactly the quickest guy, but yet people are still terrified of him right now because they're like, look at him in practice. Look at him, Mansour Delane. He's really locking him up. And it's like, yeah, well, Mansour Delane, don't forget, top 10 talent in the NFL draft. Like, he's a very good player in this year's draft class. And also, when you think about Rashee Rice as a player, it just shouldn't impact it that much, guys. He is a product of a system. And I don't think I've ever argued that particularly. This guy is the product of a system. If he was in Cleveland's offense, if he was in, the Panthers' offense, for example, like if you swap Tetero McMillan and Rashee Rice, we'd have more excitement for Tetero McMillan and way less excitement for Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is a product of a system, and I'm just not worried about what his, route running and speed looks like right now. He's going to be fine. So when it comes to that, it's whatever. But like I said, we do need people to join this mock draft, so there's a link in the chat. Just like the video, subscribe to the channel, show your support if you want to hop in. But the other thing about that is, Emeka Egbuka goes down to injury today. And naturally, it scares people, like when you see a player leave and there's not many more details outside of that. I think, honestly, part of me thinks it's just the way it's set up. Like the headline of the alert that you get from Underdog or from Sleeper, wherever you get your info from, the headline is always very intimidating when you just see player X down on field, like trainers assist him off the field. Like, that's all the information we have. It's like, I think it's meant to terrify us. From what I understand, it's just a toe injury. And Bucky Irving, he came out and said, I think he'll be all right. I want to hear it from the team first before I listen to Bucky on this one. But overall, toe injuries, they can be bad. So I'm hopeful that it's nothing serious for Emeka Egbuka and that he just, I'm sure it didn't just stub it. Like, I'm sure there's something else to it, but I'm hoping it's not serious. So we'll have to keep in the loop on the Emeka Egbuka thing. I will say that. So let's see what the chat's up to. Ayo Jetta, what's going on, man? Good to see you in here. Yeah, we explained the injury. 3S Garage, good to see you in here as well. Chuck Nasty, what's going on? Thomas Watt, how you doing today? GoldenEye, good to see you. Texans first-round draft pick Rutledge is named starting center. That hyoed about how aggressive he is blocking at the line. They hyped how aggressive he is. Okay. Yeah, that's what they need, right? They need someone to be a good pass or a good run blocker, if nothing else, because they're definitely not good at pass blocking. So if they want to kind of, be a run-first operation, that's the pathway. Getting some good offensive linemen in the run game. So we'll see about that. But we need 3 more spots filled. We'll wait another minute or so for these 3 spots to get filled up. We're going to randomize the order, so just join in the link in the chat. And just like the video, subscribe to the channel. Coffee Holic, good to see you in here, man. Draft time, let's go, my guy. Oh, baby. It is definitely go time. And I'm excited to be here. I've been looking forward to this all day, to be honest with you. It's just, it's been a weird week. It's been a weird week, I'll tell you that. But I'm happy to be here now. Chuck Nasty, note to self, don't walk 18 holes of golf on a 95-plus degree day. Anyways in the mock picking too. Yeah, it's not, walking 18 holes of golf in this kind of weather, not exactly my favorite idea either, so I definitely can understand that. And with that, old Greg joins us at the 108, and we just need 2 more spots filled. So 1 more spot, and then we'll go ahead and launch this one into space right here. So we'll go ahead and readjust the draft order right now. And what do you know? Yeah, what else would you expect other than me getting the 109? That's the only thing you could ever expect is me to get the 109. And I'll give it 15 more seconds for this last spot to get filled, and then we're going to go ahead and launch this one into space. CTNC, good to see you. How to join the Sleeper Mock? Yeah, there's a link in the chat, and then if you have a Sleeper account, you should be able to just join right in. Here we go. We're launching this one into space, man. Jackson Smith and Jigba himself also in here with Troy Polamalu himself. It's a good draft party, man. It's a good one. Coffeeholic says, my Egbuka shares, damn it. I know, dude, yeah. Listen, the way I think about it is, dude, oh my gosh, I feel like I heard an ice cream truck outside. I don't know if I am. But, yeah, the Emeka Egbuka thing, let's not overreact too much. Let's not panic. But toe injuries can be a little weird. Like, that is the one concern I have right now is, toe injuries. Sometimes you get turf toe. It kind of plagued Malik Neighbors for a lot of his rookie year. It was said to kind of plague him at the beginning of last year, too. So toe injuries can be kind of an issue, but let's hope that it's a minor toe injury. 3S Garage says, Underdog says toe sprain. Hopefully not turf toe. That's my hope. That is my hope right there. Because it can get ugly if it is turf toe. I mean, it's ended guys' careers. Not suggesting it's going to end Egbuka's career, obviously. What I'm trying to say is that stuff can linger, so it's not my favorite thing to hear. Like, I'd rather have heard it was just like a foot sprain or like a broken finger. Like, that stuff, it's like, all right, we can get past that. Toe, it's like, I'm not sure about that. But we'll see. C-Dub, Ford ass. Good to see you. Just got off work. It's good to have you in here, man. At the 103, old Greg himself in the freaking stream. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic day. Dude, I am at the 108, the 109. Why does it do that? Like, every time that I set up these mock drafts, I automatically get bumped over here. But that being said, JT is definitely a fine pick for me. Drake London at the 108. Woo! Ooh, baby. That is some intense stuff there, Thomas. You might have some explaining to do for yourself with Drake London at the 108. CTNC in, let's go. Heck yeah, baby. Thomas Watt, no 3 spot left. Yep, we are very, very much set up to go. Coffeeaholic said, the Lord knows the Texans need anything they can get at the O-line. Big reason why Stroud was so successful year 1. Yeah, their offensive line has taken a steep fall off since year 1, CJ Stroud. They're in, on paper, my Texans friend says the offensive line is much better, but I'm interested to see what the team looks like off paper and on a football field. Because I don't know how you can make that many improvements in 1 year when you didn't get really any big names. And it's not like you have the greatest coaching. I'm hopeful for the Texans. I would like to see some of their options do well, especially my guy Woody Marks. But we'll see. We'll just have to see how things go, man. Speaking of seeing how things go, I was going to say JJ I would have considered. Not that much, though, because I just like Achane too much in this range, man. I think Achane, people sleeping on him. I'm going to continue to buy his dip as well. GoldenEye, or C-Dub says, shout out to you, brother. I don't know any other content creator that sets up free mocks. This is dope. Oh, dude, I mean, appreciate that. It's, yeah, I mean, it's awesome to get everybody in and have everybody in for a mock draft. I think it's awesome, so appreciate you guys coming in. GoldenEye, Houston Sports Radio thinks Woody is going to snipe Monty's GLTs, and they worried about Monty in fantasy drafts. Well, this is something I've been saying all offseason, right? Like, Woody Marks, not only is he, like, this much is guaranteed. Woody Marks is going to monopolize the pass-catching work. That much is guaranteed. Now, if you add on top goal line touches on that, then David Montgomery is a real fantasy issue. Because it's not like David Montgomery is going to be efficient enough to, like, rip off 20, 30-yard touchdown runs all the time behind this offensive line. I don't see that. So I still would bet, I would still probably put more money on the idea that Monty takes more goal line work, because he's just been good at that over the years, than Woody has. But I mean, I have heard very positive reports from Woody Marks. Like, what they're saying about Woody is that he looks really good and he looks like he's taking a leap as a player. So we'll see how it goes. But I haven't liked Monty all offseason in drafts. I've liked Woody all offseason. So it's setting up good for me. Coffeeaholic, sorry to hear that, man. I've had a rough past 2 weeks ever since I got back from vacation. But these streams have helped a lot, so I appreciate it. I appreciate you appreciating it, dude. Nah, dude, we'll get through it. It's just the ups and downs of life, right? It happens. Chuck Nasty liked the video, boys. You gotta listen to Chuck Nasty when he's saying like that video. You gotta do it now. Coffeeaholic, don't mess with that Troy Polamalu guy. Especially if it's Troy Polamalu. The Mikado, good to see you in here, man. How you doing today? It's always good to have you. We'll get you in on the Underdog draft after this, because we're going to Underdog after this to rib some ones over there. GoldenEye, back in the day, always had the quarters ready anytime to run after the ice cream truck. Dude, I used to do that too, and we do sometimes have an ice cream truck that comes around here. So, we're like, my wife and I will sometimes, like, if we hear it, we'll, like, go outside and check. I still haven't gotten anything. I don't know what kind of ice cream they got, but it's pretty cool. Like, I thought they were kind of a thing of the past. Shout out to ice cream trucks, man. Shout out, baby. Coffeeholic sniped JSN before he drafted himself in this one. Dude, I know, right? JSN would have done it. He definitely would have done it. There would have been, had to have been an investigation if that would have happened. Lip Rips, what's going on? Good to see ya. Who do you like taking at the 106 after the big four go? Well, if JSN is available, I definitely would go with JSN. But if he's not, then the obvious answer for me is Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra, when you line him up against McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, CeeDee Lamb, he's the safest of the bunch to me. Like, I think that when you look at a guy who has been a top 3 wide receiver for the last 3 years, you're obviously going to get a guy that's going to give you consistent production. And this is something that's not talked about enough. Amon-Ra, it's not that he's had just a healthy, lucky streak. Amon-Ra's had injuries over the years. He's just played through them. His toughness level is something that should be really talked about more in fantasy. And I'm going to start talking about that more because I really do think that's worth talking about here. So, Amon-Ra to me is the 106 pick if JSN isn't available. If JSN's available, I personally would go JSN, but I understand the argument for people who want to go with Amon-Ra. Bottom line is I don't think you go wrong with either of those two picks. Well, Chris Olave falling a little bit. He typically does fall a little bit in my mock drafts. I do not have him as highly ranked as consensus. Now, Egbuka did go. I was kind of curious if he was going to fall a little bit. I'm going to go with T as my wide receiver 1. Zesty Buffalo, good to see ya. T. Higgins or Waddle or Devontae Adams? Yeah, for me, it's T. I think T. Higgins is the, I don't know if I'd like class. I don't know. I was going to say, I'm not sure if he's the highest upside player, but then I think about it. Devontae, I really do think he's a problem this year. Age, injuries last year really plagued him. And touchdown numbers, while he's a historically dominant goal line receiver, those numbers are often more fickle than receiving yards. And his receiving yards plummeted last year. With Waddle, I just think Denver's got a lot of mouths to feed. And, I mean, did anyone listen to what Sean Payton said about Pat Bryant yesterday? Like, Kay Adams was asking him, how are you guys going to keep Pat Bryant off the field? And he goes, we're not. So he's like, he stokes the flames on all of his players. So, for me, it's T. C-Dub, London at 8. I know, dude. I'm looking for Thomas's explanation on that one. I'm very curious to hear about it. Well, as most of you know, in this range, there is a running back I like a lot. And I got to tell you, I wasn't happy about the news that we got today, but I still am going to take Cam Skattebo. I think Cam Skattebo, they're saying he's like, what did they say? They basically had him as like the co-starter with Tyrone Tracy. I mean, what are we doing here? But at the end of the day, like, I do expect him to monopolize most of that backfield. So I still think in the 4th round, there's risk baked into this one. I like Cam Skattebo a lot. 3S Garage, JSN could have had the perfect opportunity to draft his entire team. Yes, he almost did. He almost did. If Kenneth Walker would have stayed in Seattle, he would have been in great shape in this one. GoldenEye, just starting to say you dislike the 12th pick while online, and your online draft will start placing you there. It's the Illuminati. You never know, dude. You never know. I should start really talking shit on the 12th pick. That's what I should do. The Mikado, pick 1. Evans, Herbert, QJ, or Scat, Drake, or Scat, Dak, and Tate. For me, it's definitely Scat, Tate, and Dak. I think, like I was just kind of saying with Cam Skattebo, I just think that, you know, his 4th round cost, and I know we're not talking draft cost on all these guys, but there's risk baked into his value in fantasy when it comes to trades and when it comes to drafting. So for me, it's so attractive because if he does monopolize the backfield, and let's say the Giants offense is better this year, then he's the only guy in his value range of running backs that I really do see has sneaky RB1 upside. So for that reason alone, I definitely am one of those guys that would rather have Skattebo over, like, because the highlight of this one on the other side is definitely Evans. So I think for me, I would rather have the Scat side for sure. Zesty Buffalo, what wide receivers do you think Brock Bowers will finish around? That's a really good question. In full PPR, that's also a really good, this is a really good question. Brock Bowers, in my opinion, if things go right, and for me, things going right means he has like a 30% target share. If he has a 30% target share in this offense, 30 to like 32%, which I think is very, very possible, then I would expect him to realistically, we're going to go ahead and take DJ Moore here. And Rome went. Yeah, Rome already went. I did not expect Rome to be gone. I think that he realistically could have, like, the equivalent of the wide receiver 6 or 7 finish. Like, that to me is realistic in his range of outcomes. If he was to do a 30+% target share, 30 to 32% is where I've got him roughly statted out as, then to me, like, he's the unquestioned tight end 1, and he's got like a wide receiver 6 to 7 type of finish. Like, the only thing, and I'm dead serious about this, the only thing I think that can really screw up Brock Bowers this year is if he gets injured. But if he doesn't, man, I'm really big on him. Very, very big on him. Chef Jeffy, what's going on, man? I wouldn't want any part of that Texans run game. No, I mean, I don't particularly either. The thing with Woody that has always been attractive to me this offseason, though, is his cost. You know, when it comes to, like, handcuff backs, a lot of these handcuff backs this particular year are so cheap. Like, used to be guys like, you know, Alexander Madison for years with the Minnesota Vikings as the backup to, I'm going to go Carnell Tate, as the backup to Dalvin Cook. You know, you would have to pay like a 10th to 9th round cost straight up for him. Woody Marks is someone that I already think is not just a pure handcuff, and you can still get the guy in like the 12th round. So for me personally, Woody is worth it because I do see potential of him kind of sneaking more work away from Monty as the season goes on. And he's just not expensive enough for me to balk at it. Thomas Watt, I like London when he is healthy. Okay, here's the explanation. Been waiting on this. Look at his numbers. I think he will have a better season than JJ and CD. The targets are going to Pitts. Okay, so I just think that, yeah, Drake London, man, I like him plenty. I just wouldn't like him in the first round, but you do you, man. You do you. Mikado says, I appreciate that you appreciate us appreciating. There's just appreciation all around in this stream, guys. That's the bottom line. Jacob CCC, good to see ya. How's it going? Haven't been able to catch a stream in a while. How you doing? Doing good, man. Doing good. I just very excited to be in here with you guys. How are you doing today? We're going to hop into an Underdog draft after this, so if you want to catch us over on Underdog, that'd be the place to find us. Super Movement, good to see you, man. How you doing? I'm new to fantasy football, and my work is doing a 12-person 1 PPR scoring. I got the 11th pick. What strategy should I do? So you're in a 12-person, you're at the back of your draft. For me, the double hero running back strategy is going to be your best bet. And double hero running back essentially means getting 2 running backs in the first 2 rounds. So in your particular range, for example, you saw guys like James Cook go, Damarian Hampton, Ashton Genty, Chase Brown, Devon Achane. For me, some combination of those 2 guys is the way to start out your draft. Because in your particular range, what you're going to see is a lot of receiver values that gets you in the 3rd and 4th round to where you could start stacking receivers in the 3rd through 5th round range. So for me personally, my advice to you as a new beginner is to go with 2 running backs, either Hampton, James Cook, Genty, Chase Brown, Achane, one of those 5, and then go with a wide receiver round 3, and then, you know, probably receivers in the next couple of rounds there. Good luck to you, man. You know where to find me. I'll be here. I'm here every day during the off season, and we'll definitely be available every day during the season. So hope to see you around more. I was thinking like double running back, like getting Cook and Genty. No, it sounds like you're on the same page already. That's really in your spot of the draft. That's where you could take your shot on a couple really high upside running backs. Like for me personally, Hampton is the guy that I would personally prefer. I definitely prefer Hampton because he's just in a better offense than Genty. But I'm not gonna like get mad at someone who wants to take Genty and Hampton. Like if James Cook is there, I think he's the stabilizing force. But if you can't get James Cook, for me personally, I've actually really started to like going with Hampton and Chase Brown just because of Chase Brown is the type of guy that is going to be really stable for your team if one of those 2 high upside running back busts. So you're on the same page. And again, hit me up anytime. We are here every day. All right. What are we going to do here? We've got all our positions keyed up. It's a 2-flex league. Of course, I like to punt quarterbacks and tight ends in a 2-flex format. The tight ends I'm just not really into in the 7th round right here. I'm going to punt on tight end for sure. And I'm going to go with RJ Harvey here. I just think RJ Harvey is someone, his cost has just gotten so affordable and reasonable to the point where I'm like, okay, I do feel like he has upside. So I'm going to take that opportunity and see what it can do for me right there. Chuck Nasty messed up at the 1. Auto picked on Chase. Hey, man, could be worse. Getting Jamar is not the worst thing. You could have auto picked McCaffrey. That would be a problem. Coffeeholic says Amon-Ra is probably the toughest receiver in this era, at least at that range. He's up there for sure. He's got like that Hines Ward level toughness, and like you see it in his blocking. The guy plays through injuries because, like, dude, you guys ever saw that season of Receiver on Netflix when Amon-Ra was on there? Like, he tore his oblique off the bone and still played all the games that year. Like, that's a dude who is mentally and physically tough. So that's why I think he's such a safe pick. Like, the two safest picks to me in the first 2 rounds are probably Amon-Ra and Chase Brown. Those are like the two safe, outside of Bijan, outside of Jahmyr Gibbs and Jamar. Like, Jamar, those top 3 guys are very safe. But even JSN, even Puka, I could find more issues potentially than I could find with Amon-Ra. The only thing with Amon-Ra is if he gets injured. With Puka, does Stafford get hurt? Because he's older. And, I think Amon-Ra is very safe. Very, very safe. Let's go with the frat bros in New York. I'm going to get Jackson Dart here. And feel pretty good about this team for the most part, I would say. So far, so good, I think. C-Dub says, JSN had a 36% target share last year. That's wild. I think JSN and Amon-Ra both very safe picks. I agree. I totally agree. I've never once said I don't like the JSN pick. JSN, it's hard to see a 36% target share 2 years in a row. So if I had to guess, as long as he's healthy, I would imagine he probably drops a couple points, like 33%. But yeah, dude, Amon-Ra, like the other thing with Amon-Ra is that this guy is in one of the best offenses in football, and he is still getting a 30+% target share. With all the weapons they have, that's pretty remarkable. Kaylon Simpkins, what's going on? Good to see you. Pick 4 might need an ambulance. Let's see what 4 is doing here. Yeah. Nah, man, he's got some high upside players. I like that 3-starter receiver right there. Neighbors in the 3rd, redraft league, I can do that. I can definitely do that. Chef Jeffy says, homie, that took Jeremiah Love with the 2nd round pick is smoking the good stuff. Where'd he go? Yeah, Love the 206. A little early for me, but if we get him at the back of the 2nd, early 3rd, I definitely like that. Coffeeholic says, Sean Payton loves himself a big body slant boy. Yes, he does. That's part of his MO. I do think it. I was talking about Liam Cohen, the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach, and saying that, a coach like him was a politician. Sean McVay, him, those guys are typical politician types where they're going to talk up everything, and it's like, take what they say with a grain of salt. Sean Payton's kind of the opposite of that. Like, he's kind of a troll. Like, he's a troll. And so it's like, you still can't take him seriously. That's been my argument with Waddle all offseason. Because I just don't trust it. All right, before I forget, let me go ahead and put in the Underdog link in the chat for you guys to join us over on Underdog next, because as soon as this draft's over, we're going to hop right on over to Underdog, do just a $5 draft. So if you guys want to hop into a best ball tournament with us, it'd be awesome to have you. And if you use my code FFR to sign up, you're going to get a free copy of the draft guide if you do it today, because the offer is over at midnight tonight. So if you come in tomorrow and say, well, Ryan, I signed up on Thursday, don't I get a free copy? No. The hard cutoff is midnight tonight. So if you want a free copy of the Redraft Draft Guide, then you got to do it today. And the link is in the chat. So for those of you who want in, come on in, baby. Back to the mock draft. Let's, all right, back to the mock draft right here. GoldenEye says, after reading your redraft draft guide, I'm more on board with starting with JSN and Amon-Ra. I've always been one of those safe drafters that go RB no matter what, but means reaching sometimes. And that's the point, is that, a lot of times when you reach on players, it doesn't turn out to be safe. And that's why people have asked me why I hate the 108 and the 109 this year. The reason is because in those range, I'm not comfortable with CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, McCaffrey if he's there. So I end up reaching, and I don't like reaching. So it's good that you're kind of identifying some of those, because I do think JSN and JSN and Amon-Ra are such strong picks. I do think Pittman's a really good value here. I think he's excellent, actually. I'm going to go with Pittman here. And we might just completely punt on tight end if we don't get Kittle back to us. We could go Likely, too. I actually don't mind Likely in that range either. CTNC, mostly in 10-man leagues. Man, the 12-man leagues mock's starting to get tough real quick. It's so fascinating whenever we kind of switch back and forth from 10-man to 12-man on these live streams, and you see the real difference. It gets eye-opening how different things get depending on what range of players are in the draft. So 10-man league is way less OP than an 8-man league, which is way less OP than a 6-man league. So it's really fascinating when you kind of practice on multiple ends of the spectrum as far as, teams in the draft go. Thomas Watt says, I feel like London will get more than CD and JJ. The problem with that argument, though, and I am not pro Kyler Murray. I have not been pro Murray all offseason, is Kyler's better than Tua. And I think that Tua could be a real issue in that offense. And I just think that, his injury history is definitely something that you need to take into account. The offensive line in Atlanta is good. It's much better than Miami's, which is a great sign. But there's some risk there with going with London. I just would rather take – he in that sense, I guess he falls more so with the Justin Jeffersons, with the CeeDee Lambs, that I would rather just take in the second round. But, you do you, man. I'm glad that you like your first-round pick in this mock draft. And it's also, mock drafts are a great place to try out different methods that you think you might want to draft like. So I would probably encourage you not to pick London in every first round, though. I think you can get him in the second. Be smart with ADP. Real happy. Good to see you. How's it going? What's the earliest you'd take Bowers / what draft positions would you target him on? Love Bowers this year, but worries me missing out on a second-round running back wide receiver. See, the Bowers question is such a loaded question to me because I've really gotten to the point where in certain formats, I'm willing to take Bowers as early as I'll take him as early as the 207 or 8. I think he has that much potential to impact fantasy teams this year. But the reason it's a loaded question is because in this format that we're drafting on, it's a 2-flex format. I'm less willing to take Bowers in the second round when I'm in this situation because you are going to miss out on an early running back or wide receiver. And it's not like a normal standard league where you can just have one flex. You've got 2 flexes to fill out. So even if Bowers does well, your pool of running backs and receivers to fill out your second flex is going to be weaker than the next guys. So Bowers has to be perfect for it to make sense. So in a 1-flex standard league, I'm willing to take Bowers at the 18th spot. I'm very willing to do that towards the back of the second, and especially if he's there in the third, I would definitely take him. But you're right to worry about that. If you're in a standard league, though, it's okay. But if you're in a double flex league, then I would be very, very careful. Thomas Watt, I'm saying where are the targets going to? I was wondering what the question. I was like, what is he talking about? I got you. Dante DeMora, good to see you, man. How you doing? It's always good to have a loyal member of the Roundup family in here. on this beautiful evening. Good evening, fellow fanlists. That's old school. You know what we are these days. We're the Roundup family, man. You got to get that right, Dante. It's good to see you, though. Get silly. What's going on? Thoughts on my 6 pick on a 10-man. Full point PPR. 6 pick in a 10-man, you could do worse than that. I think 6 pick, being right in the middle, basically, it's not my favorite spot to be, but it does also give you the feeling that you don't have to reach on guys. Because that's the one positive that's always been there with the middle of the draft pick, is that you don't feel like you're taking these massive ADP leaps to get a guy that you really want, because they're within a couple picks of each other. So that's a good thing about it. And like I said, if Amon-Ra or JSN is there, one of them will be there. So I would take one of those players, and I think that's a really good start. And then if you could start out with an Achane in the second or a Chase Brown in the second, I think you're golden. All right, we have our tight end, so we're done with quarterback and tight end. Now, Woody Marks went in the 10th round. Trey Tucker also went. Coffeeholic, I am giving you some... I'm glaring at you right now. You just don't know it. That is a huge bummer. But at this point, we are in a more experienced lobby. I'm going to go ahead and take Rodriguez in the 11th, who also, very worth noting, Chris Rodriguez is named, like Tyrone Tracy, as a co-starter on Jacksonville's roster right now. On their depth chart, he is named a co-starter with Bashal Tootin. I didn't make it up. You can go look at it. So you take it for what it's worth. Zesty Buffalo. I have the 9th pick in the 12-man, and I'm taking him at the 204. That's where wide receiver 7 through 8 are going. Bowers, yeah, I think it's a little risky, but, I don't... I'm not going to argue with it too much because I really do see tons of upside there. Chef Jeffy, how do you feel about Saquon Barkley this year? I feel pretty good about Saquon. I like his cost this year. I think the risk with him is more along the lines of the offense for me, which to me, there's people who are concerned about age at this point, right? He's 30 years old. And he's been injured a couple times. For me personally, if you look at my argument between him and McCaffrey are completely different. If you looked at McCaffrey last year, he declined. If you looked at Saquon on tape, this is where numbers are deceiving. If you looked at Saquon on tape, Saquon was the man. Saquon was still that dude last year. But his offensive line sucked, and his offense was literally something like you'd run in the YMCA. It was so... just remedial offense, man. So I feel pretty good about Saquon. I find myself liking guys in his range better than him. I'm going to go Denzel Boston and get fun with this one. I find myself liking guys better than him in his range. I would rather take Chase Brown. I would rather take Achane. I would rather take Genty, Hampton. But when it gets down to Kenneth, Jeremiah Love, Derrick Henry, I'll take Saquon for sure. Dante, did you see what McDaniel said about using the hot hand? Yes, I did see it. We've talked about this one a couple times over the last couple days. If you haven't heard, Amarian Hampton is in the, he's sketching people out in fantasy right now because Mike McDaniel, a famous troll in fantasy football, by the way. This is not new for Mike McDaniel. That's why I'm not worried. Mike McDaniel came out and basically said, yeah, we were going to ride the hot hand. I like all 3 backs. I'm going to try to find a way to use all of them every game. Dude, I want you guys to think about this. Last year, Mike McDaniel said he was going to utilize Ollie Gordon and Jalen Wright with Devon Achane as well. How did that turn out? What was Devon Achane doing last year? Exactly. Mike McDaniel's a troll. He's a troll, and it's also just... if Amarian Hampton is as good as I think, then he's going to eliminate the need to bring in Keaton Mitchell and Kamani Vidal for anything other than spell-back duties. I'm not worried. George's Doba. Good to see ya. What do you think about JSN over Puka with the injury and possible suspension? What do I think? I'm not really worried about that. I said it yesterday. I think the worst case scenario for Puka is he gets suspended for one game. Like, there's no, to what I understand, I don't think there's been criminal charges filed. I know there's a civil suit against him in that, but this isn't like a criminal investigation. Like, he said some things about a group of people, and he allegedly bit a woman. When I'm not like condoning any of it. I'm just saying, like, from what I understand, none of it's gone to like the legal court system. It's only gone as far as like, I'm gonna go Tyler Shuck. I'm not even paying attention. That was stupid. I don't like two quarterbacks, but we did what we did. We're gonna go kicker and defense as well. Again, not condoning what he did. Like, I'm just saying, there's just been no criminal charges that have been filed. There's been civil stuff. So, realistically, I think the only case that they've got is like a one-game suspension on this situation here. So, I'm not fading Puka when it comes to that. The Mikado, I wrote this on your short today, but in all seriousness, how risky is this? Team, everyone's fading. Puka, Hampton, Rice, first 3 rounds. I think it's a nasty start. I would agree. I think that's a nasty start as well. And if I had that start, I'd be freaking ecstatic about it. Dude, it's the ebbs and flows of the offseason, man. I said this before we even got into the month of August. I said to people who were watching me at the time, what you need to expect here is that when August hits, training camp news floods your timeline. So you're going to have to filter out some emotion, and you're going to have to expect some things to overreact. So just so happens all 3 of those guys are in kind of a negative news cycle right now from a fantasy perspective. So long story short, those guys, in my opinion, I'm doubling down on all 3 of them. If people really do want to drop Puka in drafts, I will snag him up anywhere I can get him. Tyler Sperry, good to see you. They have to remember Rice is sore and been in prison. Yeah, I'm just not worried about Rashee Rice, man. I'm just not worried about him. There's just worse things. Like, he's the dude was never known as fast. Like, if he had like Rashid Shaheed speed and he's, moving like that, then that would be concerning. But Rashee Rice has never been known for his speed. Like, I think we're okay. I think we'll be all right, everybody. And on that note, not that note, but speaking of kickers, I'm about to pick one. Kicker rankings tomorrow. Kicker rankings tomorrow. It's a big one for this community, so you stay tuned for tomorrow's video. Coffeeaholic says, Amon-Ra definitely reminds me a ton of Hines Ward, even in his looks a little bit. Yeah, sort of, I guess. A little bit. But yeah, from a playing style perspective, he definitely has that physicality. Easy R1P, good to see ya. How you doing? You're not drafting enough neighbors. Dude, I drafted a ton of neighbors. You have no idea. You were not here for every best ball draft. I drafted a ton of Malik Neighbors in the 4th round cost. I loved that cost for him. But I know you're a Neighbors fan, so it's okay. I'll give you a pass. The Mikado, I'm retracting what I said about the first 3 picks being the worst because of these guys falling. I love the first 3 picks, man, even before they were falling. Spav63, what's going on? You said, what is your opinion on Team 11? Well, CD start is not my ideal, but you got Chase Brown, which I think is super safe. Kyron is good. Olave, McLaurin, Parker Washington, the camp darling. I'm indifferent on Parker Washington, to be honest with you. Again, I really just think of it as a Liam Cohen politician situation where I can't trust him. But that being said, like, I do like Parker Washington, the player. Monungai, Aaron Jones. Oh, my gosh. Dak. Kittle, yeah, this team's good. I like this team. I think it's a good team. All right, we got our kicker, and then we're going to hop over to Underdog. So, again, there's a link in the chat. You guys want to join us, that'd be great. We'd love to have you over on Underdog to draft with us. It's going to be a $5 draft, and tonight's the last night. If you sign up by midnight and you play using my code FFR, you're going to get a free copy of the Redraft Draft Guide. It's a hard cutoff at midnight tonight, so don't, sign up tomorrow and hit me up and be like, hey, what about my free copy? You snooze, you lose. So we're going kicker here. I ranked my kickers today and finalized those rankings. And I got to tell you, having a guy like the Boz is something I like a lot. So here we go. We got a good team. I like this one. Dart, Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane, T. Higgins, DJ Moore, Isaiah Likely at tight end, Cam Scatterbo and Carnell Tate as my flexes. We got the Boz and the Eagles defense. We got RJ Harvey on the bench, Pittman, Rodriguez, Denzel Boston, and Tyler Shuck, which I usually wouldn't do, but we'll get through it. All right, let's hop on over to Underdog, get ourselves into the Puppy 3, the $5 entry with, look at this, the 100K to first place right here. This is sweet, man. I love the Puppy 3. It's one of my favorites. It's a classic. So we'll give that 25-second countdown. Anyone new? Typically, you want to hop in around the 15-second mark of my countdown. Starting at 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to hop into the Puppy 3, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this one going. We got 7 spots to fill out, so we got plenty of room in here for you guys to all hop in. Join me on this Puppy draft. Zesty Buffalo says, I'm going Chase Brown at the 109 in home league, followed by Bowers at the 204. Man, that's living right there. That is living right there. I'll tell you that. Look at that. I get the 101. How about them apples? We got BDJ in at the 103. We got Hot Rod in at the 111 as well. So let's freaking do this, guys. C-Dub said, on ESPN, it has Love trending toward the bottom of the first, top of the second. And that is a range you should stay away from him. If you are drafting on ESPN, stay away from Jeremiah Love. Everywhere else you draft, Jeremiah Love's at a reasonable cost. He typically hovers around the third round anywhere else, so I don't have a problem with him anywhere else. Coffeeholic says, Peyton loves to troll the fantasy community. He does, and that's not new. Like, him and Mike McDaniel, they love to troll, so that's my point on Waddle. That's my point on Amari and Hampton. Do not read too far into their statements. It's just not that deep. Jahmyr Gibbs start. I don't have enough Jahmyr Gibbs, so let's get this one underway. C-Dub says, do we think DK Metcalf is washed? Well, I've thought that for a couple of years at this point. I have not been a DK guy for a while. But this is like the first year that he's like a mid-round pick. So, for me personally, when you look at his draft cost most everywhere, 7th, 8th round, that guy's worth the cost. And I don't have a problem with the cost as much. So, is he washed? I think he's definitely not as good as he used to be, but move him around a little bit in the offense, which is what he's saying is going to happen. They're going to put him in more motion situations. I'm curious to see how he could get maximized. So at his cost, it's an opportunistic move. GoldenEye says, do you think the less people in the league, then the more important streaming defense at kickers is? To me, the fewer people drafting means everyone going to have good running backs and receivers. I would say that the I would say absolutely. Like if I mean, it goes into my larger philosophy about drafting defenses, right? Do not draft a defense or a kicker until you have to, because there's just too many good streaming options, especially if you're in like an 8 or 6 man league. Then why on earth would you draft a defense or a kicker in like the 10th to 12th round? Like, that makes zero sense, because in those leagues, you're getting like real players at that time. Like, not shots in the dark anymore. You're getting real values. So, yes, absolutely. And by the way, guys, would really appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Please show your support to me. I would really appreciate that. DXNTE, good to see you in here. Do you have any suggestions for a live draft assistant? Something that syncs to your drafts live? I don't. I wish I did for you, but unfortunately I do not. Thomas Watt, I know will be smart. Calvin Stoltz, good to see you, my man. Thank you for being a loyal member of the Roundup family. How you doing tonight? Pumped for the new year? You're preaching to the choir, man. I get more and more psyched about it every day. We got preseason football tomorrow. How about that? I can tell you this, I'm watching the Steelers tomorrow. I'll probably start the stream a little bit earlier tomorrow, because I'm going to my parents and I'm watching the Steelers. That's a part of my plans tomorrow. I'm pumped about it. It's good to see you, man. Coffeeholic said, sorry, man. If Mick Nix is in here, that one is for you, bro. I don't know where Mick Nix is. He's not in here today. I'm disappointed in him. Very disappointed. Also, heads up, guys. I am actually going to be collaborating live tonight with Nice and Blunt. We're doing round 2 over on Nice and Blunt's place tonight. I'm going to be on there with him starting at 10:30 Central Time this evening. So come check us out if you're interested. We're going to do an underdog draft, and I think we're going to break down another team's win-loss record, too. We're going to go with Pickens here. Do I want to go Love, or do I want to get a little different and go with Devonta Smith? Nah, I'm going to go with Love. No, I don't have much Nico. I'm going to go with Nico, actually. I do not have much Nico. Would like to get some more exposure to Nico Collins. So we went running back, receiver. Let's find a strategy on the Best Ball Draft Guide, which is a $12 purchase to my Venmo, RYAN-PODNAR. We've got the best and worst strategies. We've got a collection of best ball strategies, all using Underdog's data. Rounds 1 through 5, and their advancement rates to the playoffs, the semis, the finals. Anything highlighted in yellow, that's muy bueno. You want to target that. Anything highlighted in red, nada. Do not draft that type of strategy. We went running back, receiver. Let's find something. I don't know. This one is definitely good for advancement rates to the finals. Is there anything better that we could potentially utilize? That is the question, because that playoff advancement rate is not very strong in that particular strategy. As far as I can see, this one is solid, but it's definitely not as good as what we have highlighted right now. We've got this strategy, which is definitely good, but it's actually an even worse advance rate to the playoffs. So we'll work between one of these two in all likelihood, unless there's something else I could find. This one is also strong, but again, very low percentage chance to get to the playoffs. So historically, running back, receiver start is not fantastic. It's not the best start that you could have in a underdog draft. So it's not ideal. This one is not bad either. So we'll consider a couple different strategies here. We will consider a couple different options and see how the draft comes to us. We don't like to lock ourselves into one immediately. GB playing. What's going on, man? Good to see you. You said, hey man, got my draft this Sunday, got pick 9 in a 12-team PPR. Going back and forth on Achane, Cook, Hampton, and Chase. Know I want 2 of the 4, but not sure who I'd take with my first pick. Thoughts? So you got 9 out of the 12 teams. You're going back and forth on Achane, Cook, Hampton, and Chase. Well, the one I would definitely want the most is going to be James Cook, only for purposes of the unlikelihood of him making it back to you in the second round. Like, he is the one guy out of this group right here that I have the least amount of confidence making it back to you in the second round. So you have to play the ADP game. I like Hampton the best out of the bunch, actually. But I think Hampton has a better chance of getting back to you, especially with the news that we've gotten about Mike McDaniel and how it's freaking people out. I think there's a realistic chance that Hampton could get back to you, and you can have a Cook-Hampton start in the first 2 rounds at the 109, which I think would be elite. Now, if Hampton doesn't make it back, from there, I would definitely prefer. I mean, those are all 4 really good options, man. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. If you go Cook, I'd rather take the shot on Achane. So, Chase Brown, I like him a lot. I'm not disputing his prowess in fantasy this year. I just would prefer, in order, Cook, Hampton, Achane, Chase. All right. The running backs are definitely stronger. I'm going to go with Swift in this pick right here. The question becomes, do I want to go running back or receiver? That is the question I need to answer in my own head. So we're going Swift for sure. Bashal Tootin, I just don't want him. I don't want him. I think I'm going to go ahead and take Rome here. I'm going to go receiver on this one. So we ended up utilizing this strategy. Running back, wide receiver, running back, receiver in the first 5 rounds. And this ideal build is wild. Let me tell you about it. 1 quarterback, 5 running backs, 2 tight ends, and 10 receivers. That's this ideal build. So we're getting 10 receivers in this one. Buckle up, it's going to be a ride. We're off to the races with it, though, I can tell you that. Coffeeholic, as in sniping you on Woody and Trey. Yeah, I know. Don't tell me about it. Fantasy football enjoyer, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Glad to have you in here tonight. Christian A61, what's going on? CMC or Amon-Ra at the 6th pick? Amon-Ra, next question. Not to be disrespectful, but yeah, definitely Amon-Ra. C-Dub, I think Hampton will be a monster. McDaniels made Mostert and Achane beasts at the same time. And that's the other thing, is that if Keaton Mitchell or Vidal is as good as some people think they are, well, there's a blueprint a little bit for that one. It was called Raheem Mostert and Achane in 2023. So Hampton to me, I am just not worried about Hampton at all. He's running behind a vastly improved offensive line, one in which he was actually really efficient behind last year. The offense in general is better with Mike McDaniel. Hampton is a smash pick to me, man. If people start fading him, I will be attacking him in drafts. Like I already have been, but even more so. Kyle Seibert, good to see you. It feels like it's been a little bit. What happened to Buka? Yeah, we talked about it early at the top of the stream. Emeka Egbuka did suffer a toe injury. A little frightening. We don't have much news other than Bucky Irving saying, oh, he's going to be fine. But I would like to get a little bit more clarity than just Bucky Irving's take on it. So I'm hoping we get some good news and this isn't turf toe. If it is turf toe, I'm probably going to halt drafting him, but I don't want to get too ahead of this one. But that's the news. Dante says, like the video. I second that. Please like, please subscribe. Please show your support to me and the channel as we continue our growth in the 2026 season. It's been a blast all these past years, and I'm looking to have a blast with you guys again. Spectacular. What's going on? Egbuka got a toe injury at practice, for those wondering. It's expected to be minor. That is the hope. That is the hope. And I hope that it's not wrong. Travion making it into the 6. Travion's news in training camp, not been great. I will say that. It's not been great, but I will tell you this. I'll get him in the 6th round. I'll take that upside. RJ Bacani, good to see you, man. How you doing? With pick 110 and a 12-team half PPR with 2 flexes, how would you like to fill both spots? In that part of the draft, we kind of talked about this earlier with someone who's at the 111 and a 12-man. I'm going double hero running back. So I'm targeting Cook. I'm targeting Hampton. I'm targeting Achane. I'm targeting Genty. I'm targeting Chase Brown. 2 of those 5 backs, I'm going to get 2 of them. That's how I'm starting out. Double hero running back. You have great opportunity to get receiver values in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round. Our 1 quarterback, we're going balls on the table on this one. We're going with Jaden Daniels. What could go freaking wrong, right? I could have done Caleb for the Rome stack, but I want more Jaden, so we're going balls to the wall with this one. And we'll see if it pays off. I'm not convinced. So Jonathan Brooks has officially overtaken Chuba Hubbard in drafts. We knew that day was coming. I tweeted this out today. I honestly do think one of the biggest storylines, if not the biggest in my opinion, is that Jonathan Brooks and Chuba Hubbard are both playing in the Panthers preseason game this Saturday. I will be glued to my TV for that game. That game alone, I will be glued for. I think that is a very, very important matchup. Or not matchup. I think it's a very important performance to watch from both players. I'm very interested in that game. Dante DeMora, I trust Bucky. Interesting. I am not sure I trust Bucky, but I would like to. I would like for him to not be the Rome Odunze and say that Rome Odunze was talking about Kobe Bryant, the Bears' newly acquired safety from the Seahawks, saying that, the knee injury, he's going to be fine. Dude's going to miss the whole season. So, Rome Odunze was not great at determining the outcome of that one. So, I'm hoping the Bucky situation is not the same. Simple man, good to see you. Full point PPR keeper options. Hampton round 4, Egbuka round 5, or Drake May round 13. For me, it's pretty easy. It's Drake May. Drake May's cost is so much more expensive this year. And to give up a 13th round pick for a player like that is so high upside. You don't even have to take a quarterback in your draft. You can exclusively focus on wide receivers and running backs. And then in that situation, I'm even more accepting to get an early tight end like a Bowers, because you can fill out so much of your depth by not having to worry about quarterback as well. As much as I like Hampton, as much as I like Egbuka, I'm keeping Drake May for a 13th round cost. That's not even a question. Great work. You had a couple good keepers there you could choose from, but definitely May. May is definitely the pick. You're going to be in good shape there. So we went with Rico on that last pick. Rico, I do want more shares of as well. So we're getting a couple new players. I don't have much Nico. I don't have as much Jaden as I'd like. And I don't have much Rico either. Now, this one, again, it's a 1 quarterback build. So we're putting all our balls on the table with Jaden Daniels. We need 5 running backs, 2 tight ends, and 10 receivers. So I'd like to get running backs filled out probably sooner than later in this build. Dante DeMora, Brooks will get injured against the Bills, calling it now. Oh, jeez. I am in no way, shape, or form rooting for that, but my gosh, that would be depressing, wouldn't it? It would be very, very depressing for that guy's career. I hope it doesn't happen, but his track record's not great. It's not a great track record, that is for sure. Hopefully the dude can stay healthy. But that, again, I am very fascinated to watch that game. For that reason alone, I will be tuning in very closely to the Panthers on Saturday. Simple Man says, thank you. You got it, man. Anytime. We're live every day, and we are posting videos all the time. So you Know where to find me. If my non guy is there, I already have Swift. I'm not really big on that. I'm going to take Fannin at one of these picks, and then I'm also going to take Bill. I'm going to take Fannin and Bill. Here we go. Keeping her moving. Spectacular. Pick 102 in a 10-man league. I really want Jamar, but should I just be safe and pick Bijan? My whole fantasy philosophy is go with your gut. Go with your gut. So if your gut is actively telling you go Jamar, then do it. Because Bijan, I have covered this offseason. He is my number one player. Like, I've got him over Gibbs. I think he's the best option this year. But Bijan has a little risk. I've done a lot of research, and this is a good video for you to watch. This might decide your outcome here, Spectacular. If you go back and watch a video I made about 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago at this point, it's called I'm Terrified of These Running Backs in Fantasy This Year. I go through research that's extremely important when it comes to running backs who are coming off of workloads as heavy as Bijan is coming off of. So the thing about it is that typically running backs who get 350 plus touches in a year, the following year is a down year for them, ordinarily. Now, Bijan was an exception for 2 years straight because of his age, and his injury history is pretty minute. It's pretty minuscule. So there is risk there because he's coming off of his third straight 360 plus touch season. That's a little unusual. There's not many running backs in history that have done that over the last 15 years or so. So you should go watch that video. It will help you with your decision because if your gut is telling you to go with Jamar, then do it. I'm personally going to go Bijan. That's just me. I'm even going against my own research that might suggest there's an issue. I just think Bijan, from a physical frame standpoint, I think Bijan is the player that can withhold that amount of volume again this year. And he's just an excellent player all around. Dante DeMoro, not rooting for that either. Oh, no, of course not. I'm not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting that at all. But it is something, unfortunately, you got to worry about with him, right? It's very unfortunate. Jonathan Brooks' career in the NFL has not been kind to him. There is no secret there. Tyler Shuck goes in the 10th. Jackson Dart fell to the 10th round. That's a really good value on Dart. And he got a Cam Scatterboo stack with it too. That's pretty strong right there, I gotta say. Jackson Dart. Purdy going in the 10th. Some good values at quarterback on this one. In hindsight, I should have freaking waited. Jeez, man. Should I just tie off my tight end position since I only need 2? I don't know. I just don't know, to be honest with you. I'm going to get Chris Rodriguez, though. I'm glad I drafted a ton of Rodriguez in the mid part of the offseason when he was a really low cost. I'm very glad I did that. Let's get fun and take Denzel Boston over KC Conception. I don't have much shares of Boston. Boston's getting tons of camp hype. We'll see if there's substance to it, but I'm gonna do a fun pick with Denzel Boston. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I got my 5 running backs. Yes, I did. So I'm done with running back. Spectacular says, how do you feel about Tyler Shuck this year? I feel really great about him at cost. I thought I was going to have to be the wet blanket coming into the offseason. Say to people, listen, don't get out of control with the price. The guy's a second-year player. His year was bumpy last year, and his highest highs weren't that high. The addition of Jordan Tyson, Travis Etienne, makes me feel really good about his weapons around him. And, in an offense with Kellen Moore, I'm willing to do it because he's the type of guy, if he can play, he'll be an extreme value at cost. Because the weapons they have, the coaching that he has, if things work out, like Chuck literally is a dark horse to be, and I'm not joking about this, he's a dark horse for about 40 touchdowns this year. Like seriously, like passing and rushing. He's not like the best rusher, but he can run in 3-4 touchdowns. So at his cost, I'm a big fan. Kind of antithetical to what I thought it was going to be at the beginning of the offseason. I did not expect to be the guy who was all over Shuck in like the 11th round. MD Leatherman, good to see ya. What's up, man? I'm in a keeper league where JSN, Bowers, and Chase Brown are going to be kept. I'm at the 7, and I want to trade down. What's your take on that? I would probably do the same as well, because in theory, Bijan and Gibbs, if they're not being kept, they're going to get picked. Then you've got JSN and Chase out of the equation. So Puka, in theory, goes at pick 3. Amon-Ra might go at pick 4. So at the 7 spot, you're going to basically be dealing with like Justin Jefferson, McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, those types of players that I'm not in love with. So for me personally, I would try to trade down. I would try to, get a couple second-round picks, a couple third-round picks, and just roll with it from there. GoldenEye, Cleveland has Watson and Sanders listed as quarterback 1. Yeah, they're in the best possible situation, aren't they? They're a complete mess, man. You know what? I was thinking about it this morning. I was like, dude, I low-key love Todd Monken. That dude is just like first-time head coach in his 60s. He can't be bothered with the BS. Like, he's sniping at reporters. He's in the worst quarterback situation potentially of the year. I mean, it's a disaster over there. It's hilarious, honestly. It really is funny. Like, I'm rooting for Todd Monken, actually, because I actually kind of like Todd Monken. I think he's a good offensive coach, but, man, he has dealt a brutal hand. Trey Tucker, easiest pick ever. I love that he fell to me. Brenton Strange as my tight end 2, and done with tight ends. We're going to round it out with receivers. Get our 10 total. Simple Man says, bro, I'm not trying to take up all the chat. Dude, don't even worry about it. But the value on quarterback like that is making me lean towards Hampton in the 4th than Drake in the 13th. I think T-Law might even blow up this year. But here's the thing. The thing with keeping Hampton over May, and Drake May is the type of guy that can finish as a top 2 quarterback in fantasy this year. He's costing you a 13th round pick. So, in theory, if you were to keep Hampton, not only are you giving up a 4th round pick, that's a key pick. You're going to, if you want to take a shot on a later quarterback, I've been on board with that all offseason. I've been saying for a while, I love late quarterback. The problem becomes, though, if you're in a keeper league and you can keep May in the 13th round, then it doesn't make as much sense to take a swing in the 8th, 9th, 10th round on a quarterback who might finish as a top 5 guy, but in all likelihood probably doesn't have top 2 upside. Like, May does have top 2 upside. He was the quarterback 2 last year. So from a drafting perspective, from a logical perspective based on ADP, it's a lot more logical for you to keep May. I will tell you that. GoldenEye says, I guess 2 hours ago they named Watson QB1 for preseason game 1. I've been kind of thinking it was heading that way. Watson has looked like the guy they're leaning towards, so good for him, I guess. Browns fans, I mean, I feel bad for Browns fans. And that's saying a lot as a Steelers fan. That franchise, it feels like it just is always backslapping you guys. Just, Deshaun Watson, guaranteed contract. He's going to be our quarterback one. It's like, dude, okay. Nobody thinks Deshaun Watson is the future in Cleveland. So why not give Shedeur a shot before you draft someone really early? And for my point on Shedeur is that, listen, if Shedeur was actually good, he would have smoked Deshaun in this race by now. From what I see in camp, this dude's not good either. So miss me with the Deshaun versus Shedeur takes as like Shedeur is not light years better. That's just not the case. Like, they're not that far off. But if I'm Cleveland's front office / head coach, I'm thinking to myself, we're going to suck either way. Deshaun sucks. Shedeur sucks. Let's just see if the young guy can grow over the year. Let's just see. Because he's got more physical tools than Dylan Gabriel. And he's not as old as Deshaun. So before we spend a high round pick on a new quarterback, let's see if Shedeur could be the guy. But again, I don't think Shedeur is great. I mean, he's just not. Like, it's not even debatable. He's not. He would have earned the job by now if he was that much better than Deshaun Watson. We'll go Trey Harris here, and then we will also... I just don't like Zachariah Brandt's the prospect, but he is getting important work in the receiver room in Atlanta. I'll go with him just for funsies. Simple Man says, this is true. I could stack AJ with him also. You can do that, and it's just, yeah, I mean, it does make more sense. Like, logically speaking, from a draft perspective, it does make more sense to retain your 4th, give up your 13th for a guy who has top 2 upside at the quarterback position. Nice and blunt. Good to see you. I'll see you in a couple hours here, my friend. Hopefully you're doing well today. I am going live with Nice and Blunt later this evening, guys. It'll be on 8:30 Pacific time, 10:30 my time, Central time. So if you guys want to check it out, come join us later tonight. Nice and Blunt, tell the people, are we doing a team win-loss record? I really enjoyed that last time, so you let them know if we have time for that. GoldenEye, better just draft both Watson and Sanders. Never know which one will blow up. Oh yeah, they're both great picks. Oh my gosh. That's the thing with like the Shedeur stuff is like this offseason, while we weren't getting like access to how Shedeur was doing in training camp, I could entertain people who were saying Shedeur has something there. And I'm not even disputing Shedeur doesn't have physical talent. He does. Like, he does have enough mobility to move and get dangerous. He's got a big enough arm to sling it down the field. But if he was actually good, as bad as Deshaun sucks at this point, if he was good, Shedeur, he would have won the freaking job by now. So I just can't... I can't get on board with the Shedeur is that dude takes anymore. I can't entertain it anymore. Like, Todd Monken is a good enough offensive coach, and he knows this is like his only shot to be a coach. He's good enough to see talent. Nice and Blunt says, yes, live in just about 3 hours, drafting a pit bull plus Steelers win-loss picks. There you go, guys. And then he'll be giving away a free ticket on Drafters. So he's going to do that. You guys stay tuned for him. And I will be on for the first part, the pit bull draft on Underdog. And then I'll also be on for the Steelers win-loss picks. So you guys join us tonight over on his channel, starting at 8:30 Pacific time. Antonio Williams is not exactly my preferred stack. I'm going to go with Rashad Bateman. And I'm also going to... I'm going to go Malachi Fields. Yeah. Where did Jacoby Lane and Cyrus Allen go? That's my question. Cyrus Allen's still available. Really? I didn't even see him. No, Cyrus Allen went at the 1504. And Jacoby Lane went at the 1604. These rookies, man. It's rookie hype season again. Rookie hype season. Who are the landmines? Who are the real ones, man? Cyrus Allen didn't perform much in college, but that dude does look good in training camp, I will say. He does look like he could fit Kansas City's offense. I will say there's application there. I've got 3 rookie receivers, so I think I'm done with rookie receivers at this point. I'm going to take a real deep shot for my Jaden Daniels stack. To end off this draft. But again, guys, if you have enjoyed it up to this point, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Show your support to me. Would love that. Would love to have your support as we look to grow again this year. And have a great time for the 2026 fantasy season. Would really appreciate it. David Njoku goes to the 1801. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen Njoku get drafted. Tyler Sperry said, sorry, my battery died. Don't people understand that Rice is sour and was in jail? Yeah, I mean, Rashee Rice is, he's getting negative press right now. That's all there is to it. Rashee Rice is, he's going through it. He's going through it, not getting good press. I mean, I was even looking at, like, Sleeper's Twitter page this morning, and it was like, they put up a picture of him where he looked like as bad as he could have looked. Like, he had a little pudge coming out of his, like, undershirt. Like, it was the worst picture they could have possibly gotten of him. And it's like, I just feel like people are just dunking on him everywhere they get the chance. But again, you lower that cost, I'm doubling down on it. I'll draft him. I've had no problem drafting him in the second as is. Nice and blunt. Came in late. How much do you trust JCM? Why don't we save that for this evening? Why don't we save that for over on your channel? We'll save it for then. And we'll have ourselves a nice long conversation about our boy, Bill Krosky. All right. I'm going to end this out with a Washington stack. And I'm doing it. I'm going Treylon Burks. Give me a couple red zone touches towards the end of the year. That's all I'm asking for. So there you have it. That's what we did today. I appreciate you guys all hanging out with me today. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel on your way out. Again, I'll be live over on Nice and Blunt's channel tonight if you guys want to take a look at that. We're live starting at 8:30 Pacific time. So either I'll see you there or I'll see you on tomorrow's Kicker Rankings video. So appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow or tonight. You guys have a good one. Peace. Okay, real quick, breaking news. Darren Waller and the Panthers have agreed on a 1-year deal. Darren Waller, before I exit this one, Darren Waller going to the Panthers is a potentially really interesting situation. They're punting on Jatavian Sanders, who was by far their best tight end, and it really actually wasn't. Tommy Tremble was better than him. Darren Waller going to the Panthers, man, that could be a really big deal for not only Bryce Young's touchdown totals and his red zone usage, but it could also be a really big deal for Tetero McMillan's touchdown numbers. Like, that's interesting. I just got this update right as we were about to leave. Like, this is going to be a very fascinating breakdown. I'll have to kind of think this one through. My initial thought is Waller, touchdown monster. If the guy still has play left in him, Bryce Young, it could help his fantasy upside. Tedero McMillan, that's a little worrisome for a guy who, might be a little dependent on touchdowns. Not dependent, but you know what I mean. Could really hurt his touchdown numbers. Interesting refresh there before I logged off, but we'll talk about that one more later. I'll see you guys either tonight or tomorrow. Peace out.